Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jini, and in today's video I'll be showing you guys all of my color screen Tamas. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, I will link it here. As always, I don't want to talk too much, so without further ado, let's get started. Hi guys, so this is part 2 of my Tamagotchi and Pet collection, and I tried kind of like a new setup. I hope that you guys will like it. And before I start with part 2 with my color screen and modern day Tamas, I need to apologize to you guys because I forgot to show you guys Tamagotchi that I haven't shown you guys in my first part. This Tamagotchi Connection version 4 is still in its original packaging. I think it's so beautiful. What I don't like about the old packagings is that once you open them, they're just open for good and you can't really store the Tama in the packaging anymore. Yeah, as you can see here, it says version 4, and here you can see a bunch of characters, and they already evolved so much throughout the years. If you still remember the packagings from the vintage ones from Japan from my last video, packagings were so old school and so retro feeling. While I still love this modern packaging, I just think the older versions have so much charm to them, so much character. I don't own a lot of Tamagotchi that are still in their original packaging just because I'm definitely the type of person to, you know, rip the packaging open and play with the Tamas. Yeah, so for the time being, I don't plan on opening it, but if I do, I'll definitely show you guys. The last Tama I forgot to show you guys is this beautiful Tamagotchi Euro Tama, and this one I got from a good friend. Greetings to you if you're watching this video. Let me show it to you guys. It is indeed just such a beautiful old Tama. Here, look at this. It's so pretty, and as I've explained in my last video, the Euro Tama has blue pixels, as you can see here. A little comparison here. It is definitely very special, and I love this shell. It's just so colorful. I think I just really love this kind of green on Tamas. And here again, you can see the packaging is just so quirky. There's so much going on, and every time I'm looking at it, I can discover something new. But for now, I'll put it back in there. What I love about having this with its original packaging is that I'm also able to see the manuals. You know, I really do love the Japanese packagings because they're kind of smallish. If you compare that to the English or European version, it is definitely a difference, especially because you can close this one up as you've seen, like I did before. That's not possible with like the blister packagings of the European versions, but this one I could really just close back like this and it looks like brand new. I definitely prefer the Japanese packagings just for that reason alone. Now we move on to my one and only Tamagotchi Plus color that I ran for the 10 Tamas challenge. I really love the pacing of the mini games, the selection of the mini games. I think the characters are also incredibly cute. There's a lot to do on the Tamagotchi Plus color. This is indeed the first Tama with the color screen that came out. I do think they released in 2008. Yes, in 2008. The Plus colors came in various solid colors. I really love the lime green one with the yellow buttons. There are a bunch of colors. I do think the black one is very sought after. I do think they probably... Sorry guys, these were my plant lamps. While it's kind of simplistic, it offers a lot of new features, and I can only imagine the feeling of innovation that people felt when this first released. As far as I know, the Plus color never released outside of Japan, so beautiful piece of history as well, I think. I love running this one. I don't have like a very good crochet case for it. If you can see it, it has kind of like a curved screen, kind of like the Paradise, and it's very prone to scratching because of that. As you can see, all the scratches here, and you probably could get the scratches out with Polywatch, but they don't really hinder me when I'm playing it. I don't know if that's strange, but I kind of like a little bit of wear and tear on my Tamas, especially when they just came like that, because I feel like it's part of, you know, the history of the Tama that it has been in a few loving hands, more or less. I mean, if it were like all scratched up so that I can't see anything anymore of the gameplay, of course I'd do something against it. But with this, I'm totally okay. I don't feel the need to get rid of all of the scratches. I don't know, I'm a little bit weird there, yeah. The next color screen Tama is the Tamagotchi ID. This one released just 1 year later after the Tamagotchi Plus color, and it introduced the Tamatomo system, I'd call it, where you can collect Tamatomo kind of like stickers or kind of like stamps, and every character has 4 stamps and you can collect them all. And I think that was like kind of the key concept of the ID. I think this was also the Tama that allowed you to download content online for the very first time. The Tamagotchi ID in general is kind of simple, but at the same time, just like the Plus color, it has enough features that it keeps you engaged. It's the beautiful green shell, and as you can see, it kind of looks like a jewel with the shell like this, and the other sides are, as always, just very simple, and it lays very nicely in the hands because it's so rounded. One fun thing about this Tama is that back in the days, there was a website where you could download items, and the way it worked was through this infrared panel. In order to do that, you had to access the website through an infrared capable phone. Then you were able to send the items over to the ID. I think that's such a neat idea. And that was also carried over to the next version I want to show you guys, which is the Tamagotchi IDL. I have the pink version. This one introduced a lot more adult characters that you could raise. It still had the Tamatomo system. It carried over this jewel-like faceplate, and there weren't a lot of differences between these two. As far as I know, this one also has an English version that I unfortunately don't have. Here as well, you had the Tamatomo system where you could collect the stamps, and it also had a bunch of locations that can be unlocked. It was possible to raise pets even, and the gardening feature was introduced. I love it when a Tamagotchi has a gardening feature. I think it just, again, adds so much variety to the gameplay. Very fun release as well. But eventually, I'd love to make a comparison video for you guys and just show you how the gameplays vary. Then we move on to the infamous Tamagotchi Ps, and mine is, as you can see, in definitely not the best condition. Yeah, it's very yellowed, but I don't care at all. I think these devices are so expensive nowadays, and I'm just so happy that I have one at all. But the piece is very popular because of this little silicone heart here that you can detach from the Tama, and as you can see, it has like little contacts here that you can connect with through pierces. Through the pierces, you were able to download a lot more content, characters, and they were able to transform your Tama basically. These were like DLCs, which I think is actually so much fun, but the pierces are so expensive nowadays. I still remember I was just so happy to have gotten my hands on a Tamagotchi piece, and I hope that I can one day maybe run a video for you guys. Maybe I'll manage to get one pierce for you guys and show to you guys how it works. And it kind of carried over this jewel-like faceplate that I think is very cute. Great design choice. I think that's such an elegant, pretty Tama, isn't it? I mean, you may have noticed I tried to like collect one device of every release there was, just because I wanted to experience every Tama there was. Very popular for its gameplay features with the deco peers, and righteously so. But now let's move on to the Tamagotchi for You. I have it with this beautiful music note faceplate, and the Tamagotchi for You Plus was the upgraded version of the Tamagotchi for You. And one thing I love about the For Yous is it's very easy to change up the faceplates just like that, and they come off like this. I think they should reintroduce that to the newer releases because there was such a nice feature. I love that about the Sumiko Gurashibi pets as well. The For You Plus introduced new characters and a few more features. I think a comparison between these two could be interesting as well. I want to show you guys this gorgeous color. I really like the shape of the devices. They're kind of like in between the Plus color and the ID. Then we move on to the Tamagotchi Mix. This one is the Dream Mix version. Don't mind the bubbles, please. This is by far my favorite shell out of all of the mixes, except maybe for the Sanrio mix. And the Tamagotchi Mix, as the name implies, introduced the popular gene mixing function. Every version of the Tamagotchi Mix came with different characters, different locations. The mix isn't actually all too different from the Tamagotchi meats. The only difference is that on the meats you're able to raise twins, and your pets can also mix. I love this shell, it is so dreamy. Then we'll move on to the Tamagotchi Mix. I had to show you guys this one first. This is the Tamagotchi meets Sanrio. It probably is the most beautiful Tama I own. And this one, as the name says, features the Sanrio characters, some of which you can see on the faceplate. Here I have the Tamagotchi meets fairy version. That's actually the first meets that I ever owned. Here it is, such a cute faceplate, and this one features two characters that are unique to the fairy version. These are, I forgot his name, Uni or something like that, and Familitchi, which is this character here. So these are exclusive to the Tamagotchi meets Fairy. Thus, this version is the only one that can give you the features of these characters. I still remember having so much fun with it. Then I also own the Korean version of the Tamagotchi meets Fairy, and as you can see, it does look a little bit different than this one. The Korean version really just is the same as the Japanese version, but obviously it's in Korean. This one cannot connect to the fan-made app, which is a pity. I also really appreciate the neediness of the characters. If I'm looking for a needy character where there seems to be no workaround and filling up their happiness, the meets is the solution, especially if I'm looking for a color screen Tama. Then I also have the Tamagotchi meets Magic or magical version, and here it is. This is the white version. I think it's so beautiful, and this also, just like the fairy, features two exclusive characters and also the magic land. Oh, I forgot to say, the fairy version obviously features the fairyland. For this one, I also have the Korean version that is called the Tamagotchi Some. I haven't said that before, right? The Korean version is called the Tamagotchi Some. It is so perfect for Halloween. Don't mind this crochet case. I don't know, I messed it up a few times. I tried to save it with like the bow and so on. I ran this last year during Halloween. I had such a blast playing it. I kind of miss when they made the faceplates a little bit more complex, like on the meets and the mix versions, or even the P's for you versions. These are the two unique characters that are featured on this version. This is the Tamagotchi meets pastel version, and I have the white one. I think this is the second meets version I got. I love this version. I mean, look at this shell. It's like basically the act. The characters are so precious. It actually features 5 more characters that you can marry and mix your genes with. It features 2 new locations, the Easterland and the Flower Garden. Then I also have the Tamagotchi meets Fantasy. This one features 3 new locations with 6 new characters that you can marry. Characters are so cute. Like the name implies, it features a bunch of fantasy characters. Such a fun and also beautiful device. What I love about the meets is also that they run on batteries. They're not rechargeable. I'm just in awe of this beautiful shell. I think simple shells, they do have something, but if you're looking at this, the level of detail that went into this faceplate is amazing. This is the Tamagotchi meets Sweets version, and let me show it to you guys. Also just such a beautiful shell. This like glazing design here and the little gemstone that is in here at the top. I also really just love the yellow shell. The Sweets version came with 2 new locations and 7 new characters that I can show you guys here. The jeans I have mixed before are so adorable. It's very difficult for me to pick favorites amongst the meets versions because I feel like every version just offers something very unique. Now we come to the last meet that actually isn't a meet but an on version. Wait. It's difficult to show you guys. This is the Tamagotchi On Wonder Garden. This was only released in the US, I believe, because this is kind of like the meets versions, but it's completely in English. Hence, the On versions are very popular. The only meets versions that came out in English were the Fairy, Magic, and I think the Wonder Garden. I think this is like kind of an English version of the Tamagotchi meets Fantasy version. I think everything's the same as it is on the Fantasy, but it does come with 1 new location, the Wonder Garden, obviously, and everything else is just as on the meets as far as I know. This is the Tamagotchi Pix, and this was for the longest time one of my favorite Tamas. I just think the whole gameplay is very balanced, very well-rounded. And I also own the Tamagotchi Pix Party. I love that you can take pictures with it. I tried taking my Pix Party to the Tamagotchi meetup, and I did try to take a few photos, but yeah, they didn't turn out great. This is the Tamagotchi Smart, the first one I got. This Smart is actually such a fun device because like the Ps and the Uni kind of, it comes with a bunch of DLCs and you can plug them in on the sides. And the Smart itself has a touch screen and only one physical button in the middle. These ones are just like stickers. This is one thing I didn't really like about the Smart, but I really love the child and teen characters on the Smart. I think they're just so cute looking. I like that with the Pix and the Smart, they kind of introduced the petting function. I'm a huge fan of petting my Tamas. I think this is one of the best features they can include in any release, really. I think just coming back to this concept of the Tamagotchi actually being a watch is very well executed on the Smart and the Uni. One thing I didn't really like about the Smart is that your Tama is basically stuck in the bottom right corner. I really like this color. I think it's beautiful, and I wish the Unis were also more in these pastel colors. I think this is also the first rechargeable device they made, if I'm not mistaken. I also own the Tamagotchi Smart Sanrio version, and this one is actually not that different from the normal Smart. It just came with the Tamas Smart card for the Sanrio version, and of course with another design. With this cute red bow here. I think it's so beautiful in this pastel pink. And also the characters that you can get with the Smart card are so cute. They had like a whole era where they were releasing merch of these specific characters. I wasn't able to grab any of the merch. I'm so sad about this. And the last Smart is this one. This is the Tamagotchi Smart 25th Anniversary Edition. And as you can see, it came with a dedicated Tamas Smart card and with this incredibly cool character special book. So this is the Smart card. This is the Smart itself. So beautiful with this glittery faceplate. It reminds me of a mermaid. And this is the cool character special book. But let me show you this cute booklet. Even the vintage Tamas are in there. I really hope that this year they'll also come out with a special anniversary edition of that hopefully won't be exclusive to Japan but will be released globally. Here are the fantasy and Wonder Garden characters. Then we come to the Tamagotchi Uni. It's a classic. I have the normal pink version, the Uni version, and also the Sanrio version. There actually aren't too many differences. Every extension comes with the Smart card. Angel came with the Angel Smart card. I'm currently running this one. And we come to the latest release, the Tamagotchi Paradise. This is the Jade Forest version. This is the Blue Water version. If you've seen my other videos, you also know that I own the Pink Land and the Purple Sky versions. Each Paradise features different secret characters. The Pink Land features Chodrakotchi. The Purple Sky features Yayakonchi. The Blue Water features Memarinchi. And the Jade Forest features Tatsuchi as the secret character. I think Yayakonchi on the Purple Sky is probably my favorite. I just love his expression. I love his little face. It's so cute. Yeah guys, I think that's it for my color screen Tama collection part. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video. Hear me ramble about all of the different releases. Thank you guys so much for watching. I wish you a beautiful weekend. Take care, and I hope to see you next week. Bye!